Russia turns into a mess, Putin panics as more than 600,000 Russians flee the war. Update: Russia and Ukraine war. Nearly 2 weeks after Vladimir Putin announced partial mobilization in Russia, between more than 600,000 and 1 million people have left the country, according to many experts' estimates. This was reported by the Russian edition of Forbes, citing sources, according to Ukrinform. A source familiar with Kremlin estimates said nearly 1 million people have left Russia since the campaign began. Another interlocutor in the presidential palace made it clear that it was about 600,000 to 700,000 Russians. The calculation is complicated because the Russians fled their country in different ways. Immediately after the call was announced on September 21, long lines formed at Russian border checkpoints. The one that attracted the most media attention was the Verkhnyi Lars checkpoint on the Russian-Georgian border, where people stood in line for 5 days, often without food or water. According to reports, a mobile draft site of the Russian Military Commission has been set up in the region. By October 3, the traffic jam at the border had been cleared, so cars now pass freely. Russia has turned into a mess in the last 10 days, as the Russian people are trying to flee from the war created by Putin. On October 4, the head of Kazakhstan's Interior Ministry, Murat Akhmetsanov, said that since September 21, about 200,000 Russian citizens have entered the country. During the same period, 147,000 Russians left its territory. On September 27, the Georgian Interior Ministry reported that 53,000 Russians had arrived in the country during the week, with 10,000 crossing the border every day, 40 to 45% more than before September 21. Also in the first week, 66,000 Russians joined the EU, 30% more than before the ban was announced, according to EU border agency Frontex. The agency reports that most entry crosses the border of Finland and Estonia. On September 30, Russian ambassador to Helsinki Pavlo Kuznetsov said that after September 21, about 60,000 Russians entered Finland, 80% of them are transiting to other European countries. In early September, even before the mobilization was announced, the statistics agency Rosstat reported that 419,000 people had left Russia since the war began. But that number has more than doubled by early October, with an estimated millions of Russians fleeing their country since the start of the war.